book is called The Paradoxical Prime Minister. What is the paradox, or what are the paradoxes within which you believe the Prime Minister is located?
Well, there'd be too many to enumerate all of them, but I mean the central one that prompted the title and indeed the idea of the book goes back to about 6 months into his tenure. I published a book called India Shastra, Reflections on the Nation in Our Time, which was a collection of about 100 short pieces and somewhat less short pieces written over the preceding 6 or 7 years. But I did have to take stock of the 6 months of Mr. Modi since that book was coming out in December of 2014. And I wrote an introductory essay in which I said there's something strange going on here, because here you have this Prime Minister who says the most liberal things, he makes all these very liberal pronouncements, but he rests for political support on the most illiberal elements in Indian society. And that the very people he's depending on to campaign for him and win him state elections and be the stormtroopers for his agenda are the people who are busy rewriting science, rewriting history textbooks, waging a war on science, attacking minorities, condemning love jihad and promoting ghar wapasi and all of that other stuff that had already begun happening in those first 6 months. And I wrote a sentence saying, in this contradiction may lie the seeds of his future failure. That was December 2014, 6 months after he came to power. So when the time came for me to write this book, which I wanted obviously to be out before the next election, I had the satisfaction of being able to begin it with the words, I told you so. So it begins with I told you so. I quote that paragraph. I say, in fact, Mr. Modi has spent the next 4 years proving my fears right. And then I go on at some length to lay those out. Now, there are many other paradoxes. This is the central one, the liberal pronouncements versus the illiberal support base. But there's so many others that are described throughout the book. You could, in fact, my publishers and I sat down at one point and just batting forth, back and forth between each other, we came up with 18 paradoxes in about 10 minutes. And the publishers liked the idea so much they decided to run a contest on the internet for people to suggest paradoxes involving Mr. Modi, and there were 5 prizes for the best 5 ideas. We got about 500, and they finally gave away 5 copies of my book to the ones who had identified paradoxes. But anyway, 500 paradoxes apart, you got everything from things like the most eloquent figure in Indian politics, perhaps the most eloquent orator in Hindi we've ever had in our country, going completely silent when Muslims are lynched, Dalits are flogged, tragedies occur to people, cow vigilantes run amok and assault human beings. You think of someone like Barack Obama when the high school shootings occurred in the US, immediately on American television, commiserating with the parents of the victims, condemning the outrage, sharing the pain of the nation. That's what a moral leader does. That's the moral authority that comes with being the elected representative leading a nation. No moral authority from our Prime Minister. So that's just one more example, and there would be, as I said, within 5 minutes you can think of 18 other such paradoxes. Paradoxes define the man.